So
hello, can we hear?
I don't know.
Testing.
Mueller, can you hear me?
Bumblebee.
We'll hit all the buttons. We'll pretend like we know what we're doing over here. Yeah, I think
I think we're up.
the mic check works.
Okay, we are back. What are we talking about today?
Today, I think we need to talk about the small incremental changes.
Small incremental changes
on budgets, and how maybe chinting today to save a couple bucks today might actually cost you a lot of money longer term.
Okay.
I think one of the items that you and I had discussed yesterday was what happens when you have cut rate car insurance and you total your vehicle, but you owed money on it. So that car is sitting in a salvage lot somewhere with a loan on it.
Yes.
And then, 4 or 5 years later, somebody calls and says, hey, I want to buy a house, and we have to talk about this charged off auto loan.
Exactly.
How, why, what happens there?
So someone, the saying that you always get what you pay for is true in every walk of life, in my opinion. I'm just putting that out there. But when someone says I save 15%, that's got to come from somewhere. It's like having a contractor come in and give you a different bid on a roof. Well, everyone's got to make a buck. So what happens is behind the scenes, the things you don't ask and you don't look for are when a car gets totaled, what value are they using to pay you? Because in car world, how many different types of values are there? What's market value even mean?
Well, I think I actually saw something the other day about is that Benz? I don't know if you watch that Benz isn't bow tie guy always talking about things. He's like, we have 4 different valuations, like Edmunds, Blue Book, and like 3 other, and like there's a $5,000 variance on a $40,000 vehicle there.
Yeah. So like you think about it as when you get that done, what are they going to give you? Clean retail? Are they going to give you dealer trade-in? Like all this stuff matters. And when you're saving that $10, you're probably giving up something like that. And when you do that, you can go online and look at your own car, right? You can put it in the Kelley Blue Book or whatever. I think NADA is a little closer to what insurance companies use, but it's all like subjective, because that estimator is going to say, well, what condition was your car in? And if you don't agree with it, who do you have to call to say, hey, look, Adam, I don't think this is right. Well, my office would call and say, hey, look, how'd you guys come up with this? Everything's transparent. And it could mean like a $4,000 to $5,000 swing and a payment to you. Now, what you're talking about is when someone is dependent on that valuation to cover a loan that they'd taken out and secured with that vehicle, right?
Yes.
And where a lot of people get in trouble is they start to live beyond their means. They want a new car. They go in, the car dealer says, yeah, I can get you into that car for, what kind of payment do you want to be under? Be careful.
Foursquare.
When you start talking about payment, you don't know what's going on in the back end, because you can make any payment work, right? You just change the terms or bring it out further. You got 85-month car loan, something like that. So the consequence of that is what, Tony?
You're eventually borrowing more on a price that is, you're going to lose 20% when you walk out the door, no matter what.
You're a depreciating asset that you've paid out. Now you're going to pay it off over 8 years. Well, eventually the value of that car dips below the loan amount that you have. So when your car gets totaled and you're only going to get $20,000 from your insurance company, but you owe $28,000, now what do you do?
That's what a lot of people seem to do, is just let it be the insurance company's problem.
Yeah.
Or, we thought the insurance company was going to pay it. Well, here's what happens, right? Collection, charge off, credit, judgment, something that happens in perpetuity.
Yes. That's going to affect the costs of your life for a decade, right?
Yep.
Or more.
It's going to hang out. It'll hang out there. And like, there's a conception or this opinion of, I'm just going to dispute it, and after so many years, it'll fall off my credit. Well, what happens, and how creditors have figured out how to trick the system on that, is, okay, we sent the collections for 5 years, we didn't collect on it. All right, now we're going to file a judgment against you. That's a new piece of credit. Well, that's going to hang out there for 7, 8, 9, 10 years. When that judgment goes on, they're going to try to garnish wages. They're going to take you to court. All of that stuff shows up, and then even if it doesn't have after 3 or 4 years, doesn't have a tangible impact on credit score, If you have a outstanding judgment, you're on a payment plan, that counts against your debt to income ratio.
Yeah. So you're precluding yourself maybe from the house you want. Your car insurance is definitely more expensive. Your homeowner is more expensive. Anytime you borrow, you're paying more money. So that one little decision, sitting in front of that car dealer who said, no, I can get you under $500 payment, and you didn't really think it all the way through, and someone took advantage of you. So at this show, we're all about preventing, right? Loss prevention. So Tony, how do you prevent that from happening to you?
Good question. First, you make sure that you're going into a car transaction, full knowledge, understanding that you want to see the purchase price. You don't need to see the Foursquare. You don't need to see the payment game.
Yep.
I think the other thing that we see a lot of times is people going to buy here, pay here, and Payment Acceptance Corp, and then bolting on this thing called gap coverage, which I think that is when you're getting it from the dealer, super predatory.
It could be. So
when you get it from insurance company, maybe not as bad, but do you guys even provide that anymore?
So we used to, but a lot of companies have, but most of the time what I've seen is that's a decision made at point of sale, right? So you're sitting in the finance guy's room, he's trying to throw in all these things, the gap coverage lumped in. What even is gap coverage? So this is what it is. I'll break it down for you. So everything in insurance and in life is a transfer of risk between parties. So for a premium. So if you are coming into a deal and you're smart, but let's just say you can't avoid going upside down, because that happens, right? Like your car breaks down, but you still got to get to school and you owe more. But what do? They say, oh, it's okay, Tony. Let's roll that debt into this car. So you're literally leaving the lot underwater by thousands of dollars potentially, but you couldn't avoid it because the engine blew and you couldn't fix it. So all of this is a symptom of not having a healthy emergency fund, which you will pay for if you do not do that. It is the number one step in a financial plan. You make the foundation, your emergency fund. How much you have in there, we can talk about it in a different episode. But let's just say for this example, you didn't have that. It didn't cook down that way for you, right? That wasn't in the card. So there is something you could and probably should purchase called gap insurance. That goes like this. You run a red light, or someone else runs a red light. People like when it's not their fault, right? Sitting at a red light, you're going through a green light, someone runs a red light, T-bones you. Okay, everyone's safe, but your car is now totaled and you owe $20,000, but the car is worth $12,000. At point of sale, if you would have spent and bought and transferred that risk for, I'd say somewhere around $800.
Okay.
They'll roll it into your payment. But if you don't have the emergency fund and you don't have the equity in the car, you have to finance that risk at that point of sale. And if you bought it, they will say, okay, we know the car is only worth 15, but you paid this coverage. So now whatever the loan amount is, we're just going to cancel out that loan amount. That is your gap. The gap is your insurance company's paying me 15. I owe 20. So they will literally take away that gap for you. And now you're going to avoid collection, charge off,
making payments on a car that's sitting in a salvage lot.
Right. So Tony talked about it being predatory. So, there's always a time and a place for most products. If I'm going into a car deal and I'm trading in something worth 20 grand and I'm buying, I have like half of the equity. Do you really need gap insurance at that point? Or is someone trying to sell you something you don't need? That's kind of like, if you got to walk into things like educated on it, know what you're doing, have a plan. Don't just go in there and you see the car you want and they get it down to a payment. Like there are consequences.
Because as soon as the car insurance or the gap thing comes up, right? They go, well, for an extra $3 a month, you can have this. Well, how does that $3 a month come about? Well, it's tacked into the price and then divided across the loan.
Right.
Which makes it it could be predatory, but if you know that you are over leveraged on that deal,
buy it,
find a different place that provides it.
Yep.
Talk to your insurance agent or your insurance company. Like I know that a lot of insurance companies seem to have kind of moved away from that and moved away from new car replacement and a lot of these other things, because we've talked about this with homes and repairs on homes and roofs and material costs exploding.
Yeah.
What else has exploded in the last 4 years? Vehicle costs?
Vehicle
repair?
Vehicle repairs. Everything's gone crazy. But yeah, so everyone's trying to get their product more efficient. So there's always a corner to cut. You just have to be careful on what that is. And then realize what you're buying. Like even car insurance. So a lot of common misconception. Like, okay, so your car, what year is your truck?
2021.
So how many of those parts have been in the truck since 2021? How many haven't?
That one, I guess oil filters. That's about it.
So you're driving around with used parts in your car.
I am. Hey,
Okay, so
you trying to insult my car, bro?
Yeah. But newsflash, when you get in an accident, everyone wants
New
manufactured part. Like I want brand new, and I want it to be dealer, whatever that brand is. And so here's the reality, guys. The insurance companies owe you for what you had the moment you got in that accident. And the moment you got in that accident, your car was using used parts, newsflash.
Yep.
So there are some policies out there that let you do new manufactured, but most of them, including ours, are like, no, if you want to go OEM and get brand new parts, pay for it out yourself, because we haven't been charging you the premium to replace everyone's car with brand new parts. Otherwise, your car insurance would be hundreds of dollars more. So it's not like you're getting ripped off. You just thought you were buying something you didn't buy.
Yeah.
That's usually what it is.
And I think that your team does an excellent job of explaining that at your point of sale. Hey, I want to start my car insurance with you guys, my auto insurance with you guys. Okay, let's talk through what you have currently and where we might see some holes or some confusion, or where other place may have cut a corner to save $1, right?
Yeah. And then the decision bias with most things in life, but especially insurance, they're basing the decision on the coverage that they choose on what they had before. Well, what was that based on? And when you bought it, then what was that based on? So most people don't take the time and spend the energy to say, wait a minute, all right, I'm going to start from the ground up. What does this coverage even mean? How does that match with what my financial situation is? And you can take that scenario and put it into loans. You can put it into real estate. You can put it into buying a new car, because the right finance guy in that deal room where they got all this, pretty stuff to make you feel good, the right guy should be diagnosing, hey man, you're underwater. Like you probably should get this gap insurance, not trying to shove it in there on someone who's got half the equity already in the trade. So just be aware.
I'd say be aware. The other thing that there's a lot of confusion on, and I've noticed and have had conversations with people when asking about these previous judgments and defaulted car loans, uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage.
Yes.
Break it down in an elevator pitch. Why do you need it? Are places maybe trying to cut their exposure on it to save $1?
So by far the most important coverage in your car. So that is covering yourself. For anyone who doesn't have coverage, lots of people driving around, forgot to pay their bill. Oops, I ran into Tony. Oh, we broke his leg. He can't work. So like there's all kinds of liability. So essentially you're covering other people who aren't doing what they're supposed to do. It is your backup insurance. So some companies, there's a company out there we won't say it, but you can click and name your own price. Well, when you name that, the first thing they're pulling out of there is something like that, uninsured.
One of the biggest risks.
Right. So, you might be clicking to save, but now you got an accident, you can't work, or, heaven forbid you pass away, and now you have literally no coverage, because in that event, the only remedy you have is to go after the person who didn't even have the financial responsibility to have an insurance policy. Do you think there's anything to take there?
Very unlikely.
Is there a lawyer out there that's going to say, hey, I'm going to take up your case. I know that they probably owe you 250 grand, but they have negative 100 grand in their bank account. So no one's going to take on that case to go after the person who has nothing.
And that person will immediately run to file bankruptcy.
You're gone. And then you have nothing and you just waste all your time. So
I can show you all about chasing people in bankruptcy. It's a riot.
So when you look at your car insurance, take it out. So there's two numbers that are together. Most people carry 100,000, 300,000. So 100,000 bodily injury for myself. If someone hurts me, doesn't have insurance. 300 for everyone in my car. It is about, and don't quote me on this, but it's about $7 to $8 a month to go from 100,000 to $1 million. And if everyone understood how car insurance works, everyone would have $1 million in uninsured, because I don't know what you're worth, but everyone's worth more than 100 grand. I mean, I don't care what you make. You take and stretch out someone's financial
Well, I mean, just your earnings power. I mean, if you make $50,000 a year, $100,000 is 2 years of wages.
it's 2 years, and if you go and you don't have that coverage, that's you saved $8. Like it's like,
Which is crazy because, like, if we look at this, right? Like, we always talk about saving money. I think I found your $8, maybe even more.
okay,
So,
what is it?
all right, let's look at what people spend at Starbucks.
Okay,
Or
my
I should
favorite
say
place.
the green coffee company, right?
Mhm.
A venti black coffee, nothing else, right?
What's that cost?
$4.
Sure.
And then a double Gouda bacon sandwich.
Oh, those are good.
I mean, they are delicious.
Yeah.
But out the door, right? It's be $9.64-ish, depending on where you're at with taxes and all of
Okay.
that. And then, hey, the machine's got to ask you a question,
Oh,
Adam.
yeah, this machine is. I don't want to ask you. The machine's gonna.
Yeah,
ask
the
you.
machine wants to know something.
Yeah, sure. We'll give you $2.
So yeah, but in this case, I just said, what if we just rounded up from 9 and change to $10, right?
Got it.
And we did that 4 days a week, 50 weeks of the year, right? We assume maybe we work from home 1 day a week, and then we have
Yeah,
2 weeks of
vacation.
vacation. Yeah,
But you're
which is
spending
probably
it there.
crazier. This is just a bare minimum approach, right?
What we get to?
All right, so that works out to, we'll say $10. It works out to $2,000 a year in that expense, right? Well, I run these experiments that we talk about on budget stuff on myself all of the time, and my family all of the time. Other day, went to Costco, ran through some stuff. I'm like, hey, look at this. This is what a USDA prime tenderloin runs per ounce, right?
Okay.
These are what eggs, which, we'll figure out the egg situation later on. But the current Strack and Van Til prices on egg, about 38 cents. Arugula runs about 60 cents an ounce. An ounce goes a long way with the green stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We talked to a lot of people about all kinds of fun green stuff that you can buy for an ounce. 60 cents an ounce, really good deal. Look at actual coffee cost, 20 ounces of tap water.
You went down to the tap water.
Yeah. I mean, you can make it. So there's actually websites that tell you how to change the flavor profile of your own tap water. Either way, 20 cents or not 20 ounces, a penny. Measured out to the grams. I'm thinking that whatever FBI and DOJ.
I don't know if anyone's gone this deep into.
Probably not. And I'm pretty sure that someone probably thought I was dealing drugs and I was looking up ounces and grams. And
he was measuring beans.
I got triple bean. That's how I measure my coffee beans. Anyways, worked it out, right? A 4-ounce steak, 2 eggs, arugula, and a coffee at home.
Yeah.
You can do that for $7.87. That's amortizing. Also, because I'm psychotic, the cost of your coffee, $125 drip coffee maker that makes 10,000 cups over its lifetime, including the electricity use, $7.87.
Okay, but you forgot.
What?
You got to pay the dishwasher because I don't like to do dishes.
I did forget the dishwasher. I don't know how you feel about child labor, but I do have a almost 5-year-old that loves to put things in a dishwasher and or clean them himself. He also loves the smell of fresh coffee.
So do I. And arugula.
Here, you take this out over a regular window, right? It's $426 a year. That's $35 a month.
And you're eating better.
Eating better, way better. Like, you want a 4-ounce fillet for breakfast? Maybe not. Like, there's other ways you can do this, but what happens here when we continue to see this is people are so, I don't know, manipulated by big tech and big companies. They make it so easy, right? Starbucks, well, I can just go on my phone, type in my order, double click the side button, and go pick it up in 4 minutes, right?
That's it.
And there's an infinite premium put on the price of convenience. So when we talk about trying to cut your budget or trying to make these small changes, the difference between proper auto insurance could actually be you could eat better, drink better coffee, maybe.
You get the right advice at the right time. Just that doomsday scenario where you get in a car accident and you're upside down 10 grand. That 10 grand is a decision that you made or didn't get advice on, and now it's going to affect you for 15 years. It's wild.
This came about. I think since January 1st, I have seen about $68,000 in charged off auto loans on people's credit reports. So that's where that's where it came from. Anything else?
Yeah. What about the game? What'd you think?
I'm glad Fly Eagles fly there.
I know.
But man, what a boring game.
They just got worked. They had like 10 yards at the line of scrimmage at halftime or something stupid.
What's crazy? You got Vic Fangio running the defensive scheme there that he apparently couldn't run when he was with the Bears.
Yeah.
Also, did pour out a little liquor for Virginia there.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Does that free anything up for the Bears?
It probably starts. They did a generational skipping trust. So
I don't know what that does.
Yeah. Her kids save a lot of money. The next generation though, they gonna get walloped with some taxes.
They're like, oh, sorry, grandkids. You're not gonna be that spoiled.
The tax man cometh.
Yeah.
So Super Bowl, obviously Eagles roll there. Yep. It's kind of nice to not see the Chiefs win 3 in a row, but it is what it is.
That's a tough thing to do.
Travis Kelce rocking the 1970s Starsky and Hutch outfit there was pretty solid.
It was good. It was fun to watch. I mean, it was not a good game, but halftime show. I don't know.
Kendrick, maybe.
Take it or leave it. He's an entertainer.
We had the Waste Management, greatest party in the desert. A U of I grad.
Ran away with it.
Took it away.
20, what was he? 20 something under. That's cool. U of I. Let's go.
Yeah. ILL, INI. That's what else we got. I think we have Daytona 500 coming up here.
We got that. We got the Masters. We got March Madness coming with a quickness. We're in a little bit of like a sports lull, I think I would call it. But then, here we go. Then you start going right into the summer.
Oh, yeah.
Playoff hockey.
Playoffs.
Yeah. Baseball comes back. Everything starts thawing out, but we got a big snowstorm coming today.
Which means if you do wreck your car, total your car, have that conversation with your car insurance guy. Don't run right into the F&I spot at the car dealership to replace it. Mm-hmm. Make sure and follow through that if you have the appropriate coverages, that they are being paid, those loans are being paid off. Don't just assume my car is totaled, the loan just goes away.
Move your uninsured coverage up. I don't care what it's at. Put it at $1 million. That's my.
Yeah. If you got questions about it, you hit Adam.
Call.
At adamismyagent.com. You hit me. I connect you with Adam. However you want to do it. But we're here to make those small incremental steps and show you how easy it really is and eating better.
Yep. I got a golf trip with the boys next week, but I'll see you in 2 weeks, everybody.
Hey, we'll see the boys later.
I'm
going to. You got to watch your head, huh?
Yeah. Actually, yeah, I do. No more.
I'm done. Cut the show.